few simple tips that people can implement right now?
When I work with clients, like I do all these lab tests and everything, and what I'm trying to roll out is trial and error. And so I'm trying to make it very specific to them so they see results as quickly as possible and to give them certainty, right? But say you didn't have any of that stuff. And honestly, you don't need all that stuff. There's some things that you just know work. So there's like core principles that work for every human being. If you're in the species and you have a heartbeat, this works. The first thing is you got to drink enough water. And if you're drinking things with calories in them other than protein shakes, probably not a good choice. You would drink half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So a 200-pound person would drink 100 ounces of water today, which for international people, that's about 3 liters. And that would be the goal. And ideally,
just start with water.
Yeah, and
everybody could do that.
Everyone overcomplicates stuff. So You want clean water. You don't need like this crazy whole house system. Like, that's fine if you want it. I don't want to tell you not to get it, but I'm just saying, like, just keep it really simple. Drink water. They're like, what about alkaline water? What about red water? Get clean water.
Water.
Yeah. Drink enough water. Next step is super simple. People always want like the perfect diet. Eat foods closest to their natural source. So eat whole foods, avoid processed foods.
Got it.
It's very simple. And I'll give you an example, like grapes. And you ask this question. Here's your test. You don't need like a list of food. Just like hold the food up. Like you have grapes. And it says, where does this come from? And if it takes you more than 5 seconds to figure it out, or if you have to read the label, it's not a good choice. And then from that, you want to create a routine. And the routine is like, how can you automate it? If you look at the research on willpower, self-control, and decision-making from Roy Baumeister at Florida State University, and what he found was, if you looked at high performers, low performers, what was the difference? Blood sugar levels, actually, blood sugar regulation, and the amount of decisions you make. So if your blood sugar levels drop, you tend to make terrible decisions. You don't need 40 years of research to know that. I think we've all been there. Get a little hangry.
Billy.
Yeah.
You get a little hangry.
I get a little hangry. It's coming out now. Oh, everyone knows. Yep, it's true. But blood sugar levels are a big thing. And the other thing they found was you only have so many decisions you can make in a day before self-control goes down. I had a football coach. He says, nothing good happens after 11 p.m. And so we had a curfew. And it's true. Like, think about all the regrets people have in their life. So like what I usually do is I have, okay, we're going to eat within a 12-hour period. So we're going to fuel our body in a 12-hour period. We're going to fast for a 12-hour period so our digestion can occur. And so our body can repair and rebuild. During the 12-hour period of fueling, you're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and one snack. The way I do it is I train in the morning. I have my protein shake, and then I put blueberries and broccoli sprouts in it. Broccoli sprouts are like a super food. Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she's incredible the way she does her presentations on broccoli sprouts. I read the research before I saw her presentation, and it was not fun to do. Like, I had a headache. It took me weeks. And then she summarized it like in 45 minutes and just knocked it out of the park. So if you don't want to eat broccoli sprouts, watch her video, and then you'll want to. Like, I grow in my house.
They're stinky little devils, but they're good for you.
Turn off the bad genes, turn on good genes.
There you go.
If you don't want to have cancer, a good chance of it, this gives you a few bonus points, so you're going to be better protected. So I have my shake first thing in the morning just because I have a lot of nutrients in it. I want to make sure I get those things. And then about 3 hours later, I have my breakfast, which would be real food. And then about 3-4 hours later, I have my next meal. Then 3-4 hours of my next meal. Then I'm done eating. And so if I have my shake at 9 a.m., I'm done eating by 9 p.m.
Got it.
And so
12
it's
hours.
a 12.
Okay.
And what that does, it does a couple of things. Intermittent fasting, if you look at the research with weight loss and intermittent fasting, there was a really interesting study, 1-year study done. I think it was published in the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition. And what they found was they had someone ingest, I'll give you hypothetical numbers, but they had the same amount of food, say 2,000 calories, at any time of the day or within an 8-hour window, I believe it was. And they did this for a year. And at the end of the year, they had the same results. So What's more important, the overall amount of food you eat or what time of day you eat? Right now, that's a trend. And I think there's a behavioral aspect to it. I think there's value in having some rules and automating it and starting with 12 hours and then seeing how that goes. Just saying, like, this is when I eat. What happens is people eat reactively. They're like, oh, I'm hungry, I should eat. But most of the time when we eat, we're not actually physically hungry. We're emotionally hungry. And so we want to produce a little dopamine or something like that. And so we chow on someone. We're just trained to eat something, munch on something when we watch television. And so by establishing these decisions, like making a decision, like this is when I eat, this is how I eat, and this is what I eat, and then just sticking by that. What it does, it carries over to other things. When you make decisions, you make a promise to yourself and you keep it, you start to expand your beliefs about the type of person you are. But when you make a promise to yourself and you don't keep it, your subconscious mind starts to think less of you. And really, a little piece of you dies every time you say, hey, I'm going to do it, and you don't do it. That's a serious thing. You got to take that serious. Like any promise that comes from you, words you speak, that's what integrity is. And it's about having integrity with yourself, not with other people. Who cares about other people, right? Not in a mean way, but like you're promising yourself this thing. Like,
right.
Do it then.
Keep your promises.
Don't just talk. Like, too many people just say things, but they don't mean it.
True. We got to keep our promises to ourselves. What about, Billy, if someone's like ready to commit? They're like, okay, I've made a decision. I'm ready to commit to this. Give our listeners here a challenge, something that they can be their best version of themselves. They're ready to do it. They're committed. What do they do? What do you got for them?
I love it. I created this little thing called a 7-day challenge for people to start. And it's just the core habits of developing the rituals of like, these are the things you need to do. Every human needs to do if they want to have a lot of energy, vitality, they want to be lean and feel good. And this works for everyone. And then I created another program. I trained The Rock for a long time, and they would always ask me for his program. And I'm like, you will die if you do his program. He's a machine. So I made a program just for beginners that will take you to beginner to intermediate or even maybe advanced if you push yourself. But it's progressive overload, right? So you're going to start with something simple and gradually increase your volume and workload over a period of 12 weeks. And it's free.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you all. I love that. So do the 7-day challenge from Billy. We'll put it up on our website. Anybody can do it. Billy, thank you for joining us.
It's an honor and a privilege.
That was Billy Beck and Mary Buckheit talking about how Tony Robbins stays in peak physical health. To take a closer look at some of the resources they refer to during this interview, go to www.tonyrobbins.com/Billy Beck. The Tony Robbins podcast is directed by Tony Robbins and produced by the Tony Robbins editorial team, with audio editing and sound design by Jeremy Enns. Copyright Robbins Research International.